Hey guys, welcome back to WP Event Manager. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about how to install and configure WordPress manually. So without using any app installer or your hostings, let's say built-in WordPress installer, we're gonna take the manual route and we're gonna configure the WordPress for ourselves. So let's say if you are advanced user, you might know this method by now. But if you are a new WordPress beginner, you want to know how to set up WordPress manually, or you are just curious, follow along, and we will have a talk about the steps required to install and configure WordPress manually. So this is a web page over here. The domain I have over here, this is a free domain per se, and a hosting account over here. Bind it to this domain. First of all, we're gonna go to wordpress.org, okay? Not .wordpress.com. That's a different service. I mean, it's related to WordPress, but not the community version of WordPress. So in wordpress.org, we're gonna go to Get WordPress button right here, and we're gonna download the latest WordPress zip file or the release, okay? So as of now, it's 5.6. So let's go on and download the file, okay? So after download completes, we're gonna actually in our file manager in our hosting panel. You can use FTP for yourself as well, but I'm gonna use the file manager provided by the hosting panel over here. Keep in mind this interface over here might look different regarding your web host and what control panel you are using over there, but the process will be very similar, okay? So when we are at the root directory, we're gonna open the public HTML folder. So either it's gonna be public HTML for you or htdocs. In some cases, it may be a public folder. So keep in mind, it's either gonna be public HTML or let's say htdocs or public. Okay, nothing else than that. And we're gonna upload the file over here. So I can click on here, and we're gonna select this file, and we're gonna wait for it to get uploaded. Then we have to actually unzip the file. So let's close this, and we're gonna unzip this file. So we can click there and decompress. So decompress is another word for unzipping. And let's close this download window over here. So as you can see, it unzipped over here in the WordPress folder. Okay, so this is normal. What we're gonna do actually, we're gonna remove these two files. Okay, and we're gonna remove it permanently. So this is like not necessary, you can keep it, but for the maintenance, for the clean version, I'm gonna do that anyway. And then we're gonna go inside the WordPress folder. You can eliminate this step as well. For that, you need to unzip the file on your local computer and do that again. So better do is this way, just upload the file, and we can let's say select all the files by clicking here, and then we're gonna click on move. Okay, and we're gonna move them all to the public HTML root. Okay, so we're gonna click there and click on move selected files. It's gonna move all the files over here towards the public HTML. So that's our WordPress root, or like website root. Okay, so we can close this window, and remember how the website looked like when we had nothing installed. We can reload this page, and it will take us to WordPress installation wizard. So stop it right there. We need to create a database for ourselves before we can proceed with the installation. Okay, so in your web host manager, you will find some kind of let's say SQL manager or MySQL manager, and a PHP myadmin assigned with it. Okay, so we don't need the PHP myadmin. All we need is the MySQL manager. So I'm gonna click here, and the MySQL manager will be like pretty much same all across the hosting panels out there. Either it's gonna get called like MySQL manager, or let's say SQL manager, or say in cPanel, the leading web host control panel provider, it says, I believe it says SQL manager or SQL databases. Okay, so you can like identify the MySQL manager yourself on your hosting panel, and if not, let us know in the comment. I'll try to identify it for you. Okay, and then we're gonna click on add database, since we need to add a database for ourselves. So I'm gonna set my database name wp prefix it to my username for the hosting panel, and we're gonna create a user as well for ourselves. So keep character set as default. WordPress is gonna handle that pretty well. So for identification purpose, I'm gonna name the username same as well, host it's basically always localhost, and keep a note of the database name, the username, and the password over here. Okay, so that we're gonna have to provide in the setup wizard later on. Okay, so keep a note of that, and I'm gonna save this database over here. Okay, we have created a new database. Now we can continue with this setup wizard over here. What you're gonna do, we're gonna select English. You can select whatever default language for yourself, and then we're gonna hit on continue. And this is like warning screen where it's like ask you to create a database for yourself, like that we did right over here, and tells you like wp-config.php is writable. Basically, you don't have to worry about this screen over here as long as you created the database and noted down your details. We can click on let's go. And over here, we need to provide the database name that we have just created. So let's type in the database name, the username as well, the password for ourselves, database host, and that's localhost as we saw earlier, and table prefix. You can modify this. It's a good like practice to modify table prefix rather than WP. So let's say I'm gonna provide a random number, and make sure you always end with let's say underscore for the table prefix. Okay, that's required, and that's the best practice. Okay, so we are all done over here. We can hit on submit and let WordPress do its magic. Okay, so this screen says the database connection was successful. Now we can run the actual installation, right? So let's click here, and the information we need to provide when configuring a WordPress website. So site title, let's say event OEM, and username. So never choose a common username for your website. Okay, so let's say people I see using admin administrator as default admin username. Never do that. That's not a good practice. You want to be as unique as possible, so it becomes harder to get like predicted. Okay, so I'm gonna choose my default username over here since it's a demo website, and always choose a strong password. Okay, always choose a strong password for your admin username, so that way it's harder to break down your login credentials by brute force. Okay, so I'm not gonna go ahead and select a strong password as of now because this is a demonstration, but I highly suggest you do that. Okay, then we have your email. So here we need to provide an email for ourselves as an admin. Okay, so all the alerts, let's say, or like WordPress communication from this site will go to that email to our inbox. Okay, so search engine visibility, so you might want to check this off because if you are making a website with WordPress, you might want to like let Google's or let's say other search engine out there, let's say DuckDuckGo or Bing, uh, to like crawl your website and index it. Okay, so if you don't want that, you can like check this box on, so it won't let like Googlebot or let's say other search engine bots crawl your website. Okay, so we are all configured. We can click on install WordPress, and that should run the installation for us. Okay, so give it a few moments, and there we have our installation successful. So we have successfully installed the WordPress. Now we can click on login to visit our login page for the newly installed WordPress website. So here we can let's say autofill our username and password, and then we're gonna log in. And this is the brand new dashboard for your brand new installed WordPress website. Voila, you installed and configured a WordPress website from scratch manually without using any app installer. Congratulations, you should be proud of yourself. I am too, and I hope manual route isn't that hard, and like using manual mode you have a better understanding of the WordPress environment in general. So this being a video about manual installation of WordPress and how to configure it during installation. I hope you found it useful. If you did, leave a like in this video. Maybe drop a comment about it, what I could have done better. Until next time, I'm Sharad saying goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.